Hi there, welcome to my video on how to create a progress report of your Thinkific students using Zapier. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can create your own kind of customized progress report in Zapier by creating a trigger from Thinkific to Google Sheets. With this kind of report, you can decide how you want to track and measure certain kinds of performance in your course, whether you want to track it by individual lessons or specific types of lessons. This way you can decide how to improve and or modify future course products. And you can also use this as a way to help students who may be underperforming in your course by looking at the data and seeing if there's certain types of lessons that are giving them trouble, and just using that kind of as a feedback to help support and encourage your learners to keep going. So let's get started. Go ahead and log into your Zapier account. I'm logged in, and then I want to show you what trigger that I'm looking for. As you kind of see, I've already kind of been starting this, and so then it's kind of a little bit easier because then I can just look for the specific trigger. But if I am starting from fresh, what I'm going to do is click on Create Zap. And I'm going to, in my Zap, look for Thinkific application. Say that I want to send the data from Thinkific into Google Sheets. And so I'm specifically looking for anytime a lesson is completed. And then click Continue. Make sure I'm selecting my Thinkific account. And then it's going to ask me which course that I'm interested in setting up the trigger for. And so you can repeat this process for multiple courses or bundles. I'm just going to show you how I set it up for this one course. And then the idea is once this works, you can just rinse and repeat and follow the same steps again. So I'm going to pick this Launch Your Online Course in 6 weeks and then look for a specific lesson that I'm interested in tracking progress. So I'm interested in specifically this overview of the Thinkific platform. For example, the reason why I chose this is because oftentimes I notice that when students are signing up, they often, the onboarding is really overwhelming and challenging and frustrating for a lot of students and users. So this is sort of like my video that I show students on how to get set up with Thinkific. And this is sort of important because I feel like if students aren't onboarded well, then maybe this video is the reason why they aren't onboarded well. So let's just kind of use this as an indicator to track progress. I can also select multiple lessons. Let's just take a look and try this other learning outcomes. So I want to maybe see if, the learning outcomes are effective or not. And then once I select the lessons, I'm going to click on Continue. And then I'm going to test this trigger. And this test works because they found an enrollment so that someone has watched this overview. And then I'm going to click on Continue. And just before I go ahead, the test is really important because before you go ahead and set up an entire Zap, the test will sort of help you indicate in smaller steps whether you're on the right track or not. Then I'm going to set up the action so that anytime there's a lesson that's completed in Thinkific, I want all that information from those specific lessons that I'm interested in tracking to go into a Google Sheet. And so it's going to ask me, do I want to create a new row? Do I want to update the row? And for the purposes of this video, I'm interested in creating a new spreadsheet. And then I'm going to click Continue and make sure I'm selecting the right Google Sheet account, and then click Continue again. And then give my sheet a title and say Progress Report Onboarding, because I'm interested in onboarding progress. And then if I have an existing spreadsheet that I want them to copy, I can click on the existing, they can search for existing spreadsheets. But for this, I'm going to create a new one just as a demo. And then the headers are sort of like fields that I want this spreadsheet to have. So this is where I want first name, last name, email. And then I also want to select the course name and then which lesson that was completed at. And then they'll give me some lesson types. So that's giving me a lot of data. As you've heard often, the data is kind of everything. And so the idea is the more I know about what kinds of lessons are doing well, the more then I can sort of improve and or better build products that really meet the needs of my students and our customers. And then once that is done, I'm going to click on continue. And then I'm going to test this out to see if this works. And then show you the Google Sheet. And so let's just take a quick look. So now you see that the progress report onboarding is the sheet that was created. And they pulled the information that I requested from those headers, which is first name, last name, email, and the course name. And if there should have been, you probably want to know why isn't there, more of the data that I've selected earlier in terms of lesson type and lesson completed. It's because there is no data about those specific lessons, and so that's why this is the only information that you see. But the more that this it gets filled out and tested out, then that's how you know that this will then show up here. And so every time you see this no data, that means there's no information. That means there is no information about that specific lesson. And so if you are testing this and you want to make sure that it works, what you can do is go back and watch the specific lessons that you're testing to make sure then this shows up with some data. So I hope this video helps. Let me know if you have any questions. Give this video a like, leave a comment with questions, thoughts on other Zapier triggers that you'd like to see, and let me know how I can help. Thanks again for watching. Have a good one.